And thanks for hanging out with us on Facts or Frauds. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, you're subscribed, and ring that bell for notifications so the next time I premiere a video you can meet a live chat with everyone else and leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. And yes, friends, it's a Rise of the Moors update. I promise you, this one's gonna be a little bit longer than the others, but it's worth it. Grand Hillsbury rising to you all. Hey, it's Jamal Taban Latimer Sanders and all the charges he and the Rise of the Moors are charged with. I want to point out one thing though. You see that giving false information to the police? Not everybody was charged with that. Just remember that. Now, his upcoming jury trial, it starts in November. Look at this. Jury trial starts in November, and there's reasons. Look at Jamal requested this. He requested the extension from August to November. And you know, Jamal, why don't you explain that to us, will you please?
Feels good. I want to thank, I plan on making the personal phone calls for everybody that supported, that I have their number and all that kind of stuff. But for the Moorish, so I don't have your contact information, I just really want to say thank you. Because I could have just been sitting in there with, $8,000 bail, just sitting there and not being able to pay it. And, when we first was arrested, there's a lot of Moorish putting fiat on the books to feed us. Because jail food is whack. And if it wasn't for that commissary money, we would have been freezing. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for the Moors that sent us books. Sent me stuff to read because he was locked down 20 hours a day. And I'm pretty sure Tariq, Bond was locked down 24 hours a day. Or maybe it was like 23 and 1, so that way they could take a shower. So, it wasn't easy. But also want to thank, all praise to Allah because I've been praying real hard.
And now for Quinn Cumberlander. Okay. Well, Quinn, it looks like all your court dates have been either not happening or you're not showing up, and now everything's on hold. Why would that be? Could that be because, yes, a default warrant was issued for your arrest on July 22nd? Oh, go figure. And of course the court's keeping their motions going and trying to do their hearings. You're not showing up. And now they're taking their bail money back. And what do you got to say about that, Quinn?
So, this is speeded up. I was part of a militia there, and we was just a group of men who came together, who studied and wanted to protect the interests of our women and children. All
right, Quinn, but it's illegal in Rhode Island to be part of a private militia. So I just keep that on the down low, People are listening.
And in Rhode Island was the location where Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey was domiciling at. So we started off there and we met up there. And through a course of a year of my transition to Rhode Island, and I'll give y'all a brief scenario of that. I previously, as the authorized representative of my straw, of Quinn Cumberlander, and Nam DeGear, operated commercial vehicles for 20 cycles. And when I found out about this, now this is like Lamar stated, I was like, man, I'm compensating and contracting my energy for 18 hours a day, and at the end of the day, I have nothing to show for it. So when it all finally hit me, there was in a business that I just sacrificed everything and gave up. Turned in a tractor trailer, making 4,000 to 5,000 notes a week, and I gave up everything. I sacrificed everything and went straight to Rhode Island to build a community for our people, and to have a Chinatown, an example of a Chinatown in every single state, have a Moorish town. So that was the goal. I even sent fiat there, sent 3,000 notes prior to me going up there to secure land with the other Moors. The goal was to purchase some land or at least start the process of trying to get a mortgage and then claim it later. So that idea sounded good. So we can get in there, start tilling the ground and farming, and the goal was to sell the produces back to the community at the bodegas and stuff like that up in New York and around the surrounding areas. So the plan was to build a Moorish town. So as this proceeded throughout that year.
All right, Quinn, this is the last time I'm telling you. The world is listening. I'd keep some of this real quiet. You already have a warrant for your arrest. You're a wanted fugitive on the run. And the courts are going to hear what you're saying. Please, just think it over. No, it's not going to help. Never mind.
Training was coming up, and it was an invitation for all the Moors throughout around the country to come, and we was going to go training on this land up in Maine where they previously trained before. I wasn't part of it at that point in time. To speed things up, not to take too much of you guys' time. So that night at 10:45 p.m., there was a meeting that was held by all the Moors that was present, all the gentlemen, all the men that was kidnapped with me that morning on the highway. At 10:45, there was a meeting held by Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey, where at this meeting he was the only one speaking, and the purpose of this meeting was to debrief or brief what we're going to do towards our transition of our travels towards Maine. And the beginning of that meeting, we was going to go all full gear. Like, full gear? Well, there's 40 pounds right here. You know, the vest, you have your magazines, all of your tactical gear is on at this point. So this is full gear. We trained in this in the neighborhood. In Rhode Island, there were scenarios where the Moors, I wasn't part of this, the two scenarios where they trained in Rhode Island, where I was contracting my energy out for compensation at the time. There, contracting as a commercial truck driver. We will walk the street and we train. We run in the mornings, full gear, run, train, work out. This was something that was routine for 2 months before July 3rd or July 4th weekend of the training. So there were times where they called the police department in Rhode Island, Incorporated, and state that we're the Moors, we're going to go be out in the neighborhood. If you get any strange calls from residents, I just want you to know it's us and don't be alarmed. Hey, no problem. Go ahead, have fun. 4 times that those training regimens took place. So from my standpoint and what I know about that, I can sit here right now and say that every last one of those 10 other men, the mindset of a standoff was never, the intent to even try to hurt someone was never the focal point at all. So like I stated in the beginning of this meeting, it was stated to we're going full gear. Wow, that's about a 5-hour ride. Like, what are you talking about? So this is part of the training to my understanding. Once we got to Maine on a private land, we're going to dig holes, more hole digging than anything. Training drills, fireman carry another man on your back. The demonstration of dragging injured or wounded member of your squad by the back, dead man drag, I believe it might be referred to. So these were some of the things that we all knew that we were going to do once we got to land. And of course, target practices, there are a couple of the arms that we had, none of them have ever been fired. This was an opportunity to BZO the sights on them. So around 10 p.m., it was like I had just got into the location where from me compensating my energy for that day at the Job. And once I got there, the other Moors from New York were there. And so we was all ready to go within like maybe about 2 hours, we was heading out. So I'm too tired. I'm not able to do anything. I'm just going to be in there. So that I noticed at that point, it was kind of, because I was supposed to be one of the gentlemen as traveling, operating the automobile as a traveler. But I stated that I was too tired to do so. So that at that moment, it was like a little, okay, then then you do it. You be the one who operate the vehicle, motor vehicle. Excuse me, automobile. Objection, automobile. So this meet. So here we go. I got the bases covered. All right. So at 10:45, this meeting starts, and it was told that we was going to go in all gear. So everybody's like, "Oh, we're going." All right, okay, cool. That makes sense. 40 extra pounds is sitting there. That's part of training. That's what they do. That's what we need to do. It works. So another scenario comes up in this meeting where, in the event of us getting pulled over of any form, shape, what have you, we're going to do this. And what that was I'll be as Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey stated, like I said, he's the only one communicating at this time. He stated that he was going to be the first one to exit the automobile to engage whoever it is, either a policy enforcer or someone who that was the plan, to exit the automobiles and to position ourselves to a point where we're setting up a perimeter around these automobiles. You stand here, you two stand here at the back, you two in these. So we traveled in two conveyances, as everyone knows. I was in the second conveyance, and so four Moors was going to be in the first conveyance, and the rest were going to be in the second. And I don't know so much about seating arrangements, but the seating arrangements was important to who's exiting the automobiles at what point in time. So those seating arrangements were actually planned out to the point where, because you exit at this point in time, and the purpose of this whole conversation as it took place was to, in the event of something going on, we're going to show that we're a militia that's traveling on the roads. And to my comprehension at this point, we were going off of the Young versus Hawaii versus Young case, where a well-regulated militia has the right to travel without tags or anything of that sort. Just like you would see a convoy of the de facto military traveling on the roads, where they're fully armed and there are no tags on their conveyances. And that's the as the Second Amendment goes, that's the right to bear arms for a well-regulated militia to have the authority to do that. Not so much the authority to do so, but for a world, as far as the Second Amendment go.
You big cold-blooded dummy.
We with you.
So throughout this meeting, after we addressed it, after he addressed the issue of, just in case we get stopped, you do this, you say, I'm like, and the way that I am is, what you think about, you bring about the law of attraction, what you put out there, we're gods, we're creating our existence as we speak. I have timed it down to almost down to 2 weeks within 3 months of me thinking about something that actually manifested. So the quickest that I actually put intentions out there, things coming to fruition, has been exactly 2 weeks. And I'm like, wow, I'm trying to get become an alchemist, get even better with that. So I'm like, man, why the hell are we putting all this damn energy into getting pulled over? So the plan was to leave at 12 a.m. so that we can travel under not the light of the sun, at night, and it's a 4th of July weekend. So we are communicated that, well, we all knew that there were going to be a lot of policy enforcers on the road, and the last thing that we would want to do was to stop at a gas station and fuel up. So there were extra cans in the back. I don't know why at this point the conveyance that I was in was completely full. This jumping off this jumping over the meeting that actually occurred at this point. But the conveyance that I was in was completely full, and the conveyance that Jamal and 3 other Moors were in, it had at least a half a tank. I mean, not a half a tank, but a quarter tank of gas in it. So I don't know why at this point that conveyance was not gassed up, and we had the full gas tanks in the back or whatever. I wasn't in that one, so I had no idea. I wish I would have known. Hindsight, right? So throughout this meeting, getting back to the meeting and throughout the meeting, as Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey states, who is going to exit the vehicles, when, and at what time in the event of us getting pulled over? Like, why are we putting all this emphasis on? All right, so just in case the worst scenario happens, we still need to be aware of the situation and what to do. Now, to this understanding, what should have been talked about at that point, what should have been like how we will prove foreign citizenship and protection. That never came up that one time, and this is the thing that I wanted to state this, that proving foreign citizenship and protection was not part of this travel to Maine, which would have been alarming to everybody if we known that not proving our foreign citizenship and protection would have been the theme of this event. The statement for us to leave all our cell phones, all of our identification cards, nationality cards, wallets, leave everything here, just in case. What? So there were these Moors that went from New York and the other Moors. I'll say that we were more so competent to the point where 80% of the Moors bought their nationality cards. 80% of the Moors actually bought their things with them, because these are the items that I've seen in the discoveries. The de facto administrative orders that the Commonwealth put out for the discovery stated. I seen the nationality cards of the other Moors. I'm like, all right, so they did bring them. So the fact that we were told not to bring cell phones, not to bring identification cards with us, that would have put us in the mind frame that at this point in time, Jamal was going to be the commander-in-chief, and he was going to be the one who
spoke,
proving foreign citizenship and protection for all of us.
Interjection.
Yes.
So pretty much, Jamal was supposed to act as the commander, the one that speaks on behalf of the convoy.
Correct.
Right. So he's supposed to be the competent authority that was going to prove that you all were under consular jurisdiction, being as though you all come under a separate flag that is in a treaty negotiation with the United States. Right.
The fact that we're even out there enforcing the Constitution, our Second Amendment right to do so, the fact that we were out there doing that, definitely not the intent.
Speak up.
Correct.
You continue, bro. Hey, look, and throughout the story, don't worry.
Yeah, keep it up. Keep it up. Yeah,
I got you.
Family, I haven't spoken on this, and honestly, to be real with y'all, I haven't, only because of Lamont. And like you said, the vetting process. You said even Quinn. It was on July 3rd we talked, and it was his spirit is real. Lamont's spirit is real as well, and I'll state that I wasn't ready to speak on this information because I haven't really. It was a freaking nightmare, family. It was a nightmare on that morning from 1 a.m. to 11 a.m. It was a freaking nightmare, and then the actual Desmond Cripps started right after that. I just knew like that weekend I was coming. Oh, this is a misunderstanding. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't hurt nobody. No, so there was something else at play there. Something else at play. I'll finish up with the meeting. I'll try to help you. So the positioning of each Moor that was solidified by each person, and we all agreed on it, to the point where we're going to demonstrate to the policy enforcers that, hey, we're not just out here doing some, we're actually Moors, and we're a lawful, well-regulated militia, and we're going training. It shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. It's not a problem with the other militias that we took notice in Detroit that I actually looked up and like, wow, so this is happening around the country. So something that's good.
It's fiction. It's fiction.
It's de facto corporation. This is what's going on our land. So I was like, all right. So I was 100% with going through the training and showing the other Moors how to actually train and do things, discipline and do it right, to be upright men instead of not out here drug dealing and gang banging. And that was the idea, to go back to take this knowledge, YouTube it, record it, take this knowledge back to the neighborhoods, so to the youth, so we can y'all comprehend what I'm saying. So throughout this meeting, okay, after that part, everybody solidified there. And so the meeting was only 15 minutes, so from 10:45 to 11. And then from 11 to 12, that was some downtime. We're leaving at 12 o'clock a.m., no questions asked. If you ain't ready, you're getting left behind type deal. And so, all right, boom, stamp, copy. So this probably like 8 minutes into the meeting now. So everybody knows their through the briefing, everybody knows their positioning of where they're going to actually stand in an event of us getting pulled over or something happening where we're approached by vehicles from the back. I don't really comprehend like that part. Like, oh, somebody gonna try to rob us? Like what is really going on?
So pretty much, he instructed you all to stand around the vehicles or the automobiles in an event that you all got pulled over. He was to get out first. Everybody else was to follow suit and stand in a specific position as if you all were preparing for a standoff.
Damn shootout, excuse me. Yes, 10-4.
All right. So what happened when you all took the convoy or got on the road?
Right before that, I'm gonna finish up with the meeting. No, you're fine, bro. I'm gonna finish up with the meeting real quick. And so it was like everybody after the briefing, a quick little 15 minutes. Everybody good with what we're gonna do? Geared up. All right, got everything bags packed. It's like, all right, so he said, so this was the question, like right at the end, like the last minute of this briefing. Everybody good? It was like, y'all scared? This is coming from Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey. It was a silence. And it was like, y'all scared?
Are you scared?
So I looked around the room at everybody because I don't really want to be with janitors. I don't want to wake up in this fight with janitors or cooks. So I looked around the room like, because like this is the day that we actually going out here, and I've been on everybody's asses about. It's up to us. It's literally going to be up to us to make this happen for our people. So I'm looking around the room and I'm soul searching like who's the flake. so I'm still looking for the flake. Like who's the one who I already know Judah's in here.
Satan laughing spreads his wings.
It's just my concept. I'm letting everybody know, like, yo, we know what this movement is about. If they ain't in here, they here. So it's like, so I looked around and I'm scanning to see if I could see any chink in anybody's armor. He said, so who's scared? So y'all scared? So y'all scared? Look around. So he said, so he points out each more. Tell me what's going on, what you're thinking about. So he goes around the whole room. I'm the last one to go. He goes around the whole room. Everybody give their statement about how they feel about what we're about to do and how we're going to get to the land and we're going to train and all this. And everybody clear on what we're going to do in the event of us getting pulled over. So like, yeah, that's right. I got 5 hours. We good. So everybody say their piece and how they feel. And when it got to me, the responses of all the other Moors were kind of hey man, uncertainty was high on the list. We're militia, so we comprehend why being in gear will be important for training. All right, so that wasn't really, well, why we got to put on gear? That never actually came up to be full gear to the point where like, hey man, I'm relaxing. So it's like, why would we do? So that never actually came up because everybody had their bags, sleeping bags, got your fatigues on. This is what we're gonna be out there in the woods in, and as soon as we get there, we setting up camp, we setting up the tents, and we going straight to training, like straight at it. So he goes around the whole room. How y'all feel about this? And when it get to me, I tried to break the ice because the tension was really high. It was thick, and it was you could smell it. You actually could smell it. You could smell the bullshit. And but then nobody really know how to. It was silent war. It was silent weapons. Excuse me, I apologize. Silent wars.
Silent weapons of quiet war.
Yeah, silent weapons of quiet wars. I don't even know why I couldn't come up with it. Amazing book. Behold the Pale Horse. So you can smell it. Can't you smell that smell? Because you can smell like. All right, so this is what I stated because I felt the tension, and so I stated this, and I apologize to all the empresses on the phone and the sisters on the call, and that's there. But this is everything I'm stating is the truth, and that's all I got is the truth. And so when it got to me, I stated, it was like, all right, what you think? What you think more? I said, man, if we even get to the land,
wait.
Don't say it.
Okay. That's not necessary.
Okay,
yeah.
So if I said, even if we can get there, I'll be excited enough if we get there that I'll enjoy the land a whole lot. So I was like, if we just get there, that'll be good enough for me. So it was so much, it was like 10 minutes focused on, 13 minutes focused on what we're gonna do when we get pulled over by policy enforcement. It was 100% of this focus on that one thing. So when now we 12 o'clock come, pour straight out. At 1:10 in the morning, we were around. I'll say about one. Well, I seen it like on the troopers. The time it said 1:10 when the scenario and the incident was going on the side of the road. So that's where is a light drizzle coming down. Is July 3rd. 12 o'clock in the morning, we're going 12:30. 1 o'clock comes, it's pouring down. We're like an hour from Boston, at Boston, and corporate. So we're like an hour from there, and I'm noticing that the operator of the first conveyance is, everybody's kind of tired at this point. So he's like swerving, I'm like, hey man, like call him on the phone, tell him to. We ain't got time for this. We don't need him swerving on the road and something happening. And, because, I've been operating through the store, through the nom de gear, professional truck driver for the last 20 years. I'm like, we ain't got time for this. Let's get this, call him, tell him to wake his ass up. So they make the call, wake up. So around 1 o'clock comes, we're 1:05. We're traveling, and we go past this exit. I believe it was exit 54, and it was a policy enforcer sitting there in his cruiser, his trooper cruiser, sitting there on the side of the highway with his not emergency flashes, well not emergency flashes, but his caution caution lights, and they were arrow direction. So from the middle, both going out to the arrows going out to the passenger side and to the driver's side, of both from the back of his window. So it clearly can see, everybody can see that's traveling on this roadway. There's a trooper sitting there with his caution lights on, and because it's drizzling and it's rain and it's the 4th of July, and everybody know their presence is going to be increased at this point. We go past this trooper. It's on a downgrade. He's sitting here, and we coming past him. We're traveling past him, and now we're going down a decline where it goes down. I'm going down, baby. No street in a a terrain where then it comes back up at the next exit. So at the bottom of this terrain is 0.5 miles. The half, because each exit is a mile apart. Each exit is a mile apart. So you can see the next exit at the top of the hill. We didn't even get to the middle. We didn't even go 0.5 miles, not even half a mile away from this trooper. I'll say we traveled 0.4 miles. The first conveyance slammed on brakes, attempting to get off the road immediately. We're in the right-hand traveling lane next to the emergency lane. So, because, stay in the right-hand lane, we going, everybody want to do their thing, they do it. Once we go past this trooper at 0.4 miles, the first conveyance immediately gets off the road with no turn signal, no warnings, no nothing. Immediately, I think that there's a flat tire. I see this so much on the roadway. So I'm thinking it's a flat tire. And I'm like, all right, so I'm getting prepared for a flat tire in my mind. The conveyance that I was in almost hit the back of that conveyance because they stopped immediately. It was an immediate stop to the point where we almost ran into the back of them, meaning we didn't know why we was pulling over. Once we attempted to get off the road by the operator of that conveyance. He hitting the brakes. We kind of sliding into the back of them because keep in mind we're going downhill. So we're sliding at this point, about to hit the back of them, and I'm about to tell him to go around. Just go around them. But then the first conveyance pulled up to the point where we have more space to pull over. So once we were stationed on the side of the road in the emergency breakdown lane, so I'm about to get on the phone, the walkie-talkie. Hey, what's going on? Before I can do any of that, there's a automobile approaching from the rear. No, I don't see lights. I don't see any. There's no headlights. There are nothing. So he turns off his headlights. He just has on his caution light, so we can't see anything. So I'm like, hey, there's a vehicle approaching the conveyance. There's an automobile approaching the rear. So at this point, I don't even know if the communication was sent through or who heard it. But immediately, Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey, I see him walking from guys, it was a nightmare.
Now go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'm just giving them visuals while you talk. Go ahead. Don't get thrown off.
Jeez. All right. So where that first conveyance is actually at, we had backed it up to so that we can get things, So we was camping out at this point. Yeah, the bucket right there in the excuse me. That's what the camping bucket was for. So the first conveyance was actually maybe about 40 yards further up the road. It was 40 yards further up. The way that it was standing that when that incident had took place. Now, once we pulled up, and that's where the black vehicle, that's where it stayed at, the conveyance, the automobile. That's where when we came to a complete stop, it's right there. You see 0.4 miles, not even half a mile later. So this trooper cruiser pulls up, and before I can say anything, I see Jamal walking towards I'm in the passenger front seat. I see him walking towards, so I'm like, all right, so there is someone behind us that's got out. So as he gets to the passenger window of where I'm at, I see him extend his hand out to the, at this point, now I can identify that it was a trooper, a policy enforcer. So as he extends his hand, the policy enforcer does not shake his hand. And you see now the order of who's supposed to exit the vehicles at what time. All of that took place within a matter of, as we debriefed it, a matter of maybe 10, 15 seconds. Everybody, we got to our positions, perimeter around the vehicle. To my understanding, it was to demonstrate that we were a militia.
All right, Quinn, we've been through this. Militias are legal in Rhode Island, and they're illegal in Massachusetts. And when you get to Maine, well, that's illegal there too.
So interjection, Quinn.
Yes.
So to sum it up, what you just said, you all were traveling. Y'all noticed the state trooper cruiser on the right side of the road with the yellow hazard lights on, the caution lights that were going from the middle or on out from left to right. And then you went past them. Y'all went past them and then went how many?
0.4 miles.
0.4 miles and then pulled over. Abruptly, the truck in front of you all slammed on brakes as if they had a flat tire, which that's what it appeared in your eyes. And then which made you all slam on brakes, pull over to the side. And then the policy enforcer pulled up behind you all, right?
With no emergency lights on, no headlight, no nothing. I can't see anything.
Well, we can tell right here in the video. The Zoom is not showing this.
I just see a picture of the trooper in the
so you all can't even see what we're seeing. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Screen share. What about now? You see it now? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Oh, this is the troopers.
Yep. So this is you all had already pulled over and he just basically pulled up 0.4 miles behind y'all, from behind y'all.
Correct.
But y'all weren't pulled over.
No, we was never pulled over. He never had on his emergency lights. It's supposed to have been a caretaking situation.
So that cancels that narrative that they were pulled over.
They saw us because we was out on the highway with arms. This guy's not even in park yet. He still got his foot on the brake, not even in park. He didn't have time to put it in park. It was like once he came to that conveyance right there, we see come to a complete stop. Family, I say 45 seconds later, we couldn't even react. There was no reaction. That's when
the policy.
They might be using cameras to control those highways with cameras.
No, that wasn't.
That's his trooper video.
Yeah, this was the setup. Sister, just keep paying attention, sister. But yeah, basically Quinn is saying as soon as they hit the brakes, that's the truck in front of them. That's the truck that Quinn's in right here. They slamming on brakes as the policy enforcer pulls up, gets out, and then walks up to the vehicle. So as soon as they roll past,
interjection.
Okay.
As soon as we travel past, traveling at 60 miles an hour, going 0.4 miles. I'm talking about like it takes, if you go 60 miles an hour, you'll get there 1 mile in a minute. So that would have been like not even 30 seconds, family. That wouldn't have been 30 seconds of passing this policy enforcer before we pull. So we now on the side of the road, and what I'm stating is 30 seconds of not even passing this, traveling past this policy enforcer. The operator of this automobile never put it in park because within let me see. I'll say within 20 seconds or within a minute for sure. But I'll say about 40 seconds. Within the 40 seconds or less, this is what occurred. And I can see before I even noticed anybody was walking up or even a flashlight. I see how far the other one is, other conveyances ahead. So I see Jamal get out. And I'm like, what the fuck are you getting out for and walking back here? Like, he's going to tell me something, or then I see so the other more you see there, he was in the first conveyance as well.
So see, interjection. You see it, they immediately got out with arms in hand, right?
But that wasn't the plan.
And that was the plan that we didn't know about.
Oh.
That Quinn just broke down that they were planning to do before they left. They said, if we get pulled over, right, Quinn?
Correct.
If we get pulled over, this is how the orders is going to be when we get out. I'm going to get out first, Jamal, with him, and then y'all two get out, stand there. Y'all two get out, stand there, and guess what? They're fully armed. But they never got pulled over. Y'all following the narrative? Yeah. Okay. You ready, Quinn?
I'm ready.
Go ahead, you got it. Hey, Quinn, listen. Hey, look. I'm glad you're doing this because my son ain't gonna have none of my sons ain't gonna have to go through this. Because how many of us heard about people doing processes or whatever and then going to prison and we never hear from them? We only hear from the people that talks about them. Oh yeah, it's Taj that made them go to prison, right? When actuality, it's the people that's coercing these people or scamming these people into these processes. This is a part of the process.
It's a setup.
It's called a false flag operation.
Islam,
interjection,
brother. And clearly you can see that was Jamal's intention, because he pulled over in front of the officer to do this particular demonstration. That's what we're getting. That's what I can tell y'all trying to get at.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Thank you.
Now, he wasn't the operator of that automobile. Another Moor was from the Bronx.
Yeah.
When I seen the Moor, I said, bro, what made you pull over? So why you pull over? He said, I looked down at the gas and I saw we was about to run out of gas. So I slammed on the brakes and pulled over. I want to reach through we was in the holding tanks downstairs. And I'm like, while we were at this de facto venue a week later, and I'm like, bro, what made you pull over? And like, I saw the gas, so it got low, and so I pulled over. I'm like, what? So like, I'm, with my skill level of the experience that I have, when you going down a terrain, family, the floating, and I'm a diesel mechanic as well. When you're going down the terrain, your floater and your fuel tanks or gas tanks in any kind of automobile, it will show that you have more fuel than you was. I'm thinking trucks, but it will show that you have more gas than you will actually have when you're going downhill. As you go uphill, your gauge gets lower. So as we was going down this terrain, if anything, it should have showed that we had legitimately more than a quarter, like more than what we actually had when we left. But that was only an hour of travel on a highway, no stop and go. So it was nowhere. So early in that morning, like that picture that when the daylight came up, I actually, because once the first conveyance backed up, I actually walked up to it, we was like getting stuff out, getting food out, it's raining. So, I walked up to turned the key on, the electrical part, to see the gauges. Still got a quarter tank. Still got a quarter tank gas. I'm like, yo, you telling me we couldn't go 2 miles down the road and then stop? Like, if we would have got to the next exit and stopped, that would have been like perfect. But we pulled over, right? I said, yo, you saw him on the side of the road, right? Like, 'cause we all saw him. So even at this point still, we're literally all thinking that, they're just going to let us go and we're going about our way. I hear them. Yes.
Real quick. The first time the policy enforcer walked up, Casey walked up to Jamal and another guy, the other guy was in ready position with both hands on his rifle. Let me show you all.
Oh yeah.
Look at him. Look at him behind Jamal. He got both hands on his rifle. But when you fast forward it to when the policy enforcer Casey Jones, I think Casey Jones, walked back up, now look at the additional brothers that's behind Jamal. No rifle. And he looks incompetent. He looks like he doesn't belong there. Look at him. Is it 10 minutes? It's 10 o'clock now? Oh, 5 minutes. Okay. We got 5 minutes, Quinn. So look. All right. Just wanted to point that out, but real quick. So let's get to the part where you all
United States.
Well, that everything else on the video can speak for itself. Everybody, you all can go to that video. It's on the YouTube channel, Enforce the Constitution. That's the YouTube channel. The whole entire camera footage from Casey, the original person that pulled up behind them, is on the YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And you can actually even hear somewhere in the YouTube video where Jamal is yelling out my telephone number to the lieutenant who was supposed to be the negotiator, saying that his consul general is on the phone trying to reach them, and I actually had them on the other phone. So it's not a mystery that I was a part of that conversation and I heard everything. So, but now, Quinn, talk about up to the from the point where, because we only got less than 5 minutes.
Yes,
talk about the point where you were in the car and what happened to those two individuals and versus everybody else.
Okay, so daylight hit at 5 a.m. That's when they turned their bright lights off because they was blinding us the whole time. So as soon as the daylight break, the lights became ineffective, so they turned them off. As soon as that happened, maybe about 10 minutes later, up until 5 o'clock, an eagle came over the highway screeching, like let out a loud screech, and everybody stopped and looked up and was like, it was a huge eagle, circled right above us, both sides of the highway. And everybody looked up, and I was like, wow, that's like, we looked up, was like, that's Allah, you know, we're gonna be all right. So prior to that happening, where they brought in stop force teams from Massachusetts Incorporated and New Hampshire, I'll say maybe about an hour or two into this ordeal, maybe about 2 hours into the ordeal, I went to the back of the conveyance and pulled out the national flag, and I stood there with another Moor, and we held that flag. I personally held it, I think, for a total of 3 hours, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours in the freezing rain. I held the flag, showing that we're here in peace. You know, we're not here trying to, you know, do anything to you, no intentions of that. So after all this going on, a negotiator come in, and I'm like, bro, have you talked to Lamont? Like what's going on? Like, and I'm like, he like, yeah. And so, and then like early in the morning, like 7 to 8, Jamal's phone was on the charger in the conveyance, and someone got word to me, Lamont is calling. So I gave him the phone, and, you know, like Lamont stated, they had that conversation. I wasn't a part of it because he kept walking away from me as I'm trying to hear, you know, what the hell is going on. So we put our arms. Yeah, we put our arms down. We put our arms down, and then they, you know, they kidnapped us. And once they kidnapped us, all the other Moors were calling cars up from the rear. All the other Moors was put in individual cars one by one. 2 Moors were taken away in ambulances. That was Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey and Jamil Bey. Those 2, they cut their clothes off and put them in gurneys, put them on stretchers, took them away in an ambulance. So what I hear, once I'm inside of the cruiser that they placed me in, I hear over the radio states that the 2 agents on the scene are okay. So now there were over, I would say, anywhere from 80 to 150 policy enforcers out here at this time that I can count. And it's like anywhere from 80 to 150 rifles like pointing at us. And what I hear once they kidnapped us and placed us in these separate conveyances, I hear over the radio of because the trooper of the transporter of the conveyance I was in, he was outside high-fiving, and they, oh yeah, you know, pulling the drop shots, all this, that. I hear over the radio, the 2 agents on the scene are okay.
Now, was there anything wrong with them physically as to why they had to be transported in ambulances?
No, he actually told Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey, stated to the trooper that he stated this to the negotiator, that you're gonna have to drag me away from my men. You're gonna have to drag me away. This is what he stated. And then so once we put our arms down and placed them back into the conveyance, and they ordered us to walk backwards towards them, he became to the point where all of a sudden that he was too faint to do anything, too weak he couldn't stand. So I and another Moor threw his arm around me, and we walked toward, there was the position where they stopped us, and then they ordered us to lay down on the ground.
I done did a mighty thing. Oh, I'm tired now. Carry me away type shit. Oh,
That part.
my bad, Quinn. I ain't mean.
No, you're good. That's exactly what happened. So like, I'm like, it's kind of like it. You kind of like got it from that. Just like I don't want to like. Y'all supposed to like let us go type deal. Like so, like nah, you just gonna have to take me now. So
yeah.
So I'm like, man, like so I throw his arm around my shoulder and I'm like, you know, they like stop. Everybody lay down on the ground and I'm next to him.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a nightmare, family. It was a nightmare.
And that's not everything, y'all.
No, that's not. It's not because even while I was in there.
Wait. Because we want to add this too. We only got 2 minutes because that's not it. He don't get that much play. He only getting this play. I'm talking about Jamal. He only getting this much play because of your testimony. Now, Quinn, what we're going to talk about soon or coming up is what was done. So since Quinn was a part of that false flag operation and he was not instructed to grab the flag, he did that all on his own. Quinn reached out via his consort. We discussed. I told him that he was going to have to train because he's not entitled to consular jurisdiction. After I found out that they never was prepped on the 101 questions for Moorish Americans, the Moorish literature, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Symbol of America. He didn't have no basic training. So he didn't know what he was looking at. He just thought that they were just exercising their right to travel, with right to keeping bear arms and all of that, right? Just like any old other new Moor coming into this movement would think. Right? You call yourself a Moorish American, you got your rights back.
No, nobody is intimidated, actually. Everyone realizes that people who are so needy for attention, they need to dress up and be as loud as possible, are you guys and 16-year-old girls.
So anyway, told Quinn, what literature to get sent into him. He did it. His consort sent all the literature in from that website. And then we got the training. So here you'll see the affidavit of fact, writ of quo warranto, that's certified, hand wrote by Quinn Kabir L. Proud of you, bro.
I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Because I ain't know nothing.
Well, read it.
And so as of to this day, I'm the only Moor who enforces treaty right to consular jurisdiction and dismiss the attorney from this de facto.
He's the only active Moor in this Rise of the Moors case that doesn't have an attorney.
So Quinn can blame you for his situation now, right?
He expressed his dissent right here on this affidavit, which is him rescinding his consent with any attorney agreements that's certified. Here is the notice of withdrawal, which he was instructed by Juju and Jamal, or Juju through Jamal, or Jamal through Juju, to file all these motions. And he withdrew all of the motions. That's on this one. And this here is the default judgment that he hand wrote. And this is the writ of error that was issued July 20 by our consular court, now that he's entitled to consular jurisdiction because he demonstrated the principles. And last but not least, this is the writ of error that he himself typed up on his own. And it's certified and recorded on a public record and enforceable. And for everybody to go on this website, I'm encouraging everyone to go here, read his story, read the certified copies of the documents so you'll know why the case is going to be dismissed. All right? Now, for all the other Moorish Americans that are part of that incident, because of Quinn's testimony, they now have a choice. Whereas though they didn't think they had a choice, and they were all instructed by Juju, courtesy of the information that I received, to get an attorney. And then once Quinn got out, told Quinn to go. I'll say it, Quinn, you ain't got to say it. She told Quinn, hey, Quinn, I think you should get an attorney. I guess she heard that Quinn got rid of it. I think you should get an attorney, but don't tell anybody because I don't want anybody to think I'm an agent.
It's word for word.
Wow.
What kind of pain and embarrassment has this lifestyle caused your mother?
Have you ever thought whatever happened to the two that weren't charged from this whole standoff? Remember, 11 were arrested, 1 was an underage, so that means why is there only 8 being charged?
You can't fix stupid.
And thanks for hanging out with us on Facts or Frauds. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, you're subscribed, and ring that bell for notifications so next time I premiere a video you can be in a live chat with everyone else and leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. And a huge thank you to our channel members King Leo 9, Bandon, Robert Morley, Andy, Chris Kelling, Loyal American, Led Zeppelin World Girl 73, Goddess Truth, Grendel Less Rage, Pedro Whack-A-Mole, ArchAnglAzreal, AZ Jeepgirl, and Shawn OldFart. If you'd like to become a member, just hit that join button right next to subscribe or click on the link in the description. Wanishi, thank you. And if you're still mulling around and just hanging out, why not hit that subscribe button? Hit that like button, and I'll see you soon. Wanishi.